Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Okay. Okay, so we've already had a few things like forgetting to unmute ourselves and making sure that our cameras are on. But I'd like to welcome everyone to our 74th annual general meeting and our first virtual annual meeting. Before we start, we have a few housekeeping details to discuss. Since this is a new experience for most of us, I hope you bear with us and we don't have any technological issues that pop up, but you never know. And Tara will try to help you as best she can. Right now, there's a pop-up screen, a poll on your screen, a pop-up poll. It's a sound check. Please answer and then click submit. And please note at the bottom of the screen, it says this meeting is being recorded. Now, at the bottom of the screen also, you will see a question and answer bubble where you can type in any questions that you may have, or if you make a motion, this is where you would type in there. Also, there should be a raised hand. I don't see the hand. The others will have the hand. Oh, okay. Okay, so other people do have the hand. You do have the hand. It's at the bottom of the screen. You will use this if you wish to make a motion so that we can see who is making the motion and also or second it or to vote. And when we vote, instead of asking for all in favor, we will be asking who is opposed. That way we can keep track easier of whether the vote can pass or not. Before we start into the meeting, you can see Ryan Tebbett is on the screen with me. He's my co-host. And I'd like to take a moment to welcome Ryan to our organization. Information about Ryan is on the website, or pop in and talk to him at any time. Please call before you pop in though, because we have to follow those COVID-19 rules and instructions. And I would also like to take a moment right now to thank Perry for his many years of service to Churchbridge Credit Union and to wish him well in his retirement. Gail has been waiting for him to join her in her retirement. I hope we will be able to have a farewell thank you celebration for Perry and a 75th anniversary celebration sometime this year, but one never knows. I would now like to call the meeting to order and ask Tara to put the agenda up. Can I get rid of this poll? There I go. Okay. And so you can all see the agenda, and we'll start with the reading of the minutes from the last annual general meeting that was held April 29th, 2019, and Tara is going to do that for us.
The 73rd Annual General Meeting of the Churchbridge Credit Union held on April 29th, 2019. The meeting was held at the Churchbridge Community Center with 102 members signing the attendance register. President Wendy Lutz called the meeting to order at 7:04 p.m. Agenda, motion by Brenda Becker, seconded by Julie Wilk to adopt agenda as presented, carried. Minutes. Motion by Brian Swanson, seconded by Sheila Muzzolowski to adopt the minutes of the last annual general meeting held April 23rd, 2018 as presented. By Tara Lauer, carried. There was no business arising from the minutes. President's report was presented by Wendy Lutz. Management discussion and analysis was presented by Perry Wishlow. Auditor's report was presented by Mandy Price from Baker Tilly. Financial report presented by Mandy Price from Baker Tilly. Motion by Dave Schappert, seconded by Deb Fuhr to adopt all reports as presented. Carried. Appointment of auditors. After asking Mandy Price how long she has been auditing the Churchbridge Credit Union, Bill Wilk suggested we look for another firm. He suggested they may have become too comfortable. Wendy Lutz responded that the board of directors will take this into consideration, but reminded everyone that it is hard to find auditors who know credit unions. Motion by Rodney Flunder, seconded by Brenda Becker to appoint Baker Tilly as auditor for 2019, carried. Election report. Cal Swanson presented a report on the 2019 elections. One position was open in the Churchbridge district and one in the Langenburg-McNutt districts, with one interested candidate in each district. Brenda Becker was re-elected by acclamation in the Churchbridge district. Kevin Popp was elected by acclamation in the Langenburg-McNutt district. The community investment video was played. Long-term service award presentations. 7 long service awards were presented along with biographies for each recipient. Rhonda Moskaluk, 25 years, presented by Andrew. Susan Miller, 25 years, presented by Brenda. Brenda Yankee, 20 years, presented by Connie. Cheryl Kitts, 10 years, presented by Brenda. Janessa Leipert, 10 years, presented by Andrew. Danielle Shackleton, 10 years, presented by Cheryl. Megan Shawn, 5 years, presented by Cheryl. Question period. Bill Welk commented, he is a member of 3 different credit unions in Saskatchewan and told the crowd that he believes Churchbridge Credit Union has a good reputation. He suggested we add the amount of loans by type to the annual meeting book, as well as where our members are located, even by postal code. Wendy added that it's good to know that we have a positive image, and reminded everyone that it is good to know that you can live anywhere and still have your financial dealings with us. Door prizes were handed out. Adjournment. Wendy Lutz adjourned the meeting at 8:17 p.m.
So I will as far as business arising from the minutes, the question about having different auditors, we did Perry at that time surveyed what we call the G8 group, which is a group of about 8 credit unions who are like-sized, and asked them what external audit firm they use and information regarding their audit firm. Perry discovered that most have long-term relationships with their auditors, not just us. Ours is a little on the high side as far as pricing, but on the other side of the coin, they are local, so we don't have the expense of travel and rooms, etc. The Virtus group seems most reasonable. If we did change to another firm, our out-of-pocket expenses would increase with hotels, etc. If we signed with a new firm, we would likely need to sign a 3 to 5 year contract, and they would take more time because we would be learning each other. So it might also be a higher cost for the time commitment. Mandy comes every year, it should be noted, but she does bring a different team with her every year, so there's always fresh eyes. When we hand the reins to the new management, that may be the time that we could possibly consider a different audit group, but also Mandy will be available at that time to answer any questions that Ryan will have, since Perry won't be here. This isn't the only audit we get. We also are audited. We have an internal audit that come in and look at different areas every year. And every year, or not every year, but every 3 years, we have a credit union deposit guarantee corporation audit or inspection as well. So this external audit is just one of 3 different audits that we often get. So we made the decision to stay with who we have right now. Again, you know, if we decide that if Ryan knows somebody better, maybe we will change. It's hard to say. I'd like to call for somebody to adopt the minutes by raising your hand. Brenda Becker raised her hand. And we need one more person to, and so now I need a seconder. Kevin Pop. If there's anyone opposed, I ask you to raise your hand. We have 2 participants who've raised their hand. Are you opposed, or is that just a mistake? Okay, I guess that was just a little technical issue. We'll now move on to the President's report. So if I read too fast, you will be able to find the President's report in our annual report, which you can pick up at any time from either one of the branches, or you can find it also, I believe it's on the internet. Yes, it's on our website too, if you want to look at it there. So here's the President's report. Wow, 75 years of being a credit union. I know this actually happens in 2020, but it is in the forefront of our minds right now. It just goes to show what people with cooperative values can achieve. The ability to have a credit union that can celebrate such a milestone can only be achieved by having dedicated members, staff, and directors. We continue to thrive, always looking for ways to offer more services, more products, and more help to our members and our communities. We continue to see growth in our deposits and loans, which contributes to our success. In a climate where there are more and more mergers, we are always open to new opportunities. These opportunities must be of value to our credit union. We have spent the last quarter of 2019 searching for a new Chief Executive Officer, General Manager. We are sorry to see Perry leave, but understand that the golf course is calling. Good luck in your retirement, Perry. We are excited to see what 2020 will bring with the new CEO. Our member profit sharing program and our community investment program allow us to give back to our members and our communities. If we didn't have the support of our members, we would not be able to offer these 2 programs. Thank you to you, our members. In the words of Telemiracle, where are we going? Higher, more successful, and more giving back. Thank you. I'll now call on Ryan to give us a bit of a President's or management discussion and analysis for this year.
All right, I hope everybody can hear me. Good evening or late afternoon, depending on your preference. I'd like to welcome everybody to our 2019 AGM webinar. I am Ryan Tibbett, new CEO of Churchbridge Credit Union. As much as Perry was looking forward to seeing everybody and being part of the 75th year celebrations, the COVID has put a little twist into our lives. So Perry retired on June 15th, so I will be presenting the manager's report. If there are questions later in the meeting, I may not be privy to all the events that happened in 2019, so I'll look to our board president or staff on call to provide the knowledge. If there's still something that cannot be answered today, we will absolutely look at getting a reply to you within the next few days. So, the board and staff set key objectives yearly. 2019, our focus was on financials, community, members, internal business processes, as well as people and culture. For the financial focus, we want to ensure that we have the financial results necessary to fund our strategic priorities, such as our patronage program and products and services utilized by our members. Our financial strength is found within our net earnings, efficient operations, capital, and liquidity strength. 2019 was another good year. We saw our assets grow by almost 8%. This includes our on-book assets of $179.6 million and our off-book mutual fund assets of just over $32 million. This brings our total assets under administration to $211.6 million. We continue to have above average growth, and a good chunk of this growth is attributed to the closures of TD in Langenburg and the Spy Hill branch of Connexus Credit Union. Member loans were up 1.44% from 2018 and ended the year at $137.2 million. Our total year-end delinquency was 1.28%. This is a decrease of 0.3% from 2018. However, our over 90-day delinquency increased by 0.26% from 2018 to end at 0.37% of assets. This is still very envious of the Saskatchewan Credit Union average of 1.34%. Our total loans approved, extended, or amended were down 59 to 910 loans, but the total dollar amount was up by $893,000 to $55.8 million. Deposits totaled $163.3 million at the end of the year, and this is an increase of 8.45% from 2018. Our off-book mutual funds had strong growth and showed an increase of 6.07% to end the year at $32 million. A further breakdown of these figures by branch can be found in our annual report. Our profit prior to allocations was $1,528,455. Just over $420,000 was allocated to our member profit sharing dividend, and the remaining amount of slightly over $1.1 million was put to retained earnings. We are pleased to announce we are paying out 27% of our year-end profits back to our members through our member profit sharing dividend. This is $420,000 for 2019. Over the last 20 years, we have given back over $5.5 million. It is the continued support of our members who help make this happen. Due to the COVID, our member profit sharing day celebration has been put on hold. Once restrictions have been reduced, we will look to finalize the date, and we will be sure to announce the date and time. The retained earnings help keep our credit union strong and able to weather economic downturns. In addition to that, the credit union system is highly regulated, and we must meet certain standards. We have a detailed capital plan that is directly regulated to our service delivery strategies and risk philosophies. Our regulator, Credit Union Deposit Guarantee Corporation, has set regulatory standards which every credit union must adhere to. These standards accurately measure the need for capital based on the credit union's corporate risk profiles. Not only is the quantity of capital considered, but the quality of our capital and assets as well. We continue to exceed regulatory standards in all areas of business. On page 17 of our annual report, there is a table comparing our annual targets with our actual results along with the provincial average. We are very proud of our financials and how we compare across the province with our peers. As I previously mentioned, another of our strategic focuses is community. We feel it is very important to invest in our communities through volunteerism and sponsorships, as this is the core of who we are as a credit union. In 2019, our staff provided 1,421 hours within the communities we serve. A third strategic focus is our members. We want to ensure we actively develop and increase our financial relationships with our members and continue to better understand their needs, as well as those who are not yet become our members. We realize we can't be everything to everyone, but we strive to be the best that we can to the greater good. There are two more strategic focuses: our internal business processes, which is saying we want to ensure efficient and relevant member-focused processes. This is done by being proactive and engaging like-minded credit unions in pursuing collaborative and partnership opportunities that add value to our members and ensuring our business model is robust and flexible to evolve with the changing environment. The final strategic focus is people and culture. We want to attract and retain member-focused employees, management, and board that align with our culture. Every person within our organization are critical to the success of our credit union. I'm very pleased the board felt that I was that person, and I'm excited to be working here, and I look forward to what our credit union can accomplish for many years to come. There is an abundance of information within our annual report, so I encourage everyone to review it in its full length. We have it available on our website, and paper copies are always available as well. Thank you.
Mute. Try again. Okay, thank you, Ryan. I just want to remind anyone, if you have any questions about anything that from the meeting tonight, we will address them at the end of the meeting during the question period, but you can type them in at any time in the question and answer. And that is true too, as Mandy Price from Baker and Tilley gives her report. If you have any questions of that, you can just type them in. She is online, that she will answer them if at the end of the meeting. I'd like to now call on Mandy Price of Baker Tilley to give the auditor's report.
Hello, this is Mandy Price of Baker Tilley SKLLP. Our firm was engaged to provide an audit of the financial statements as having been appointed by the members of the Churchbridge Credit Union for 2019 at last year's AGM. The purpose of an audit engagement is to provide an opinion on the financial statements. The completeness and accuracy of the financial statements themselves are the responsibility of management, as management is overseen by the board of directors. Our responsibility on the financial statements is to provide an opinion as to whether or not those statements are in fact a fair presentation of the finances of the organization. We do this through obtaining an understanding of the credit union's operating environment and its processes. We determine where misstatements may arise, and then we design and perform audit procedures in response to those risks of misstatement to build a sufficient amount of evidence in order to support an audit conclusion. So on page 31 of the annual report, you will find the auditor's report on the summary financial statements, with the summary financial statements following that report. Do know that a full set of financial statements and a related audit report have not been included within this annual report. This is simply a summary of those full financial statements. This summary does consist of the first 5 pages of the full financial statements, as well as a note to the end of those summary financial statements. So as you can see within our report of the summary financial statements, we have stated that the accompanying summary financial statements are in fact a fair summary of the full statements, as well as identifying that we have expressed an unmodified audit opinion on those full financial statements. Unmodified audit opinion simply means a clean audit opinion, or in our opinion, the financial statements are in fact a fair representation. We have no concerns or items that the reader should be aware of whereby we are not able to come to that conclusion. Do be advised that the audit report on the full set of financial statements also does contain more information with regards to the nature of audit itself and the split of responsibilities between management, the board of directors, and the auditor, as those responsibilities relate to the financial reporting process.
Okay, so thank you, Mandy. We will now have a presentation of the financial statements, again by Mandy Price of Baker Tilly.
The summary financial statements start on page 32 of the annual report. The first 5 pages are exact duplicates of the same first 5 pages that are included on the full set of financial statements. The primary difference between the summary financial statements that you're looking at in the annual report and the full financial statements are that the full financial statements contain a robust set of disclosure notes. These notes are 38 pages long and contain information with regards to the credit union's selected accounting policies, risk management policies, and other details and explanatory comments of the various balances and line items that you see within these schedules. The management discussion and analysis within the annual report already contains an overview of the highlights of the financial performance this year. So I'm going to use this time to provide a general explanation of what each of the financial statements within these summary financial statements is attempting to communicate. So on page 32 here, the statement of financial position, this is a snapshot of the finances of the organization as they existed at a very specific point in time, being the end of the day, December 31st, 2019, the 2019 year-end date. The statement of financial position communicates what the credit union had, being its assets, what it owed or financial obligations that it had outside of itself, which is its liabilities, and its equity, which is simply the net of the two, assets minus liabilities. You can see the total assets for the credit union at December 31st, 2019 was over $179 million, most of which was the loan portfolio of over $137 million. The next largest asset by order of monetary size is the investment portfolio, which is just under $38 million, as you can see. The total liabilities of the credit union at December 31st, 2019 were $167 million, most of which is the deposits that are on hand at the credit union of $163 million, which constitutes an obligation because, of course, those funds are not dollars of the organization. The credit union does have an obligation, of course, to return those deposits to its members should the members request them. The next page, page 33, this is the income statement. The income statement communicates the sum total of the various income and expenses for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2019. So as was noted in the management discussion and analysis, there's net income of $1.1 million this year. This is net of the patronage allocation amount of $420,000 that was declared in relation to the 2019 operating year. You can see that patronage allocation expense in the second section of the income statement there under interest expenses. It is included in the expense, so the $1.1 million in net income this year is after taking that amount out of the operating results. Page 34 is the statement of comprehensive income. This is included in the summary financial statements as a required statement, but as you can see, there's really no further informational value of this particular statement within the context of this credit union. Statement of changes in equity is the following page, page 35. This statement identifies the fact that the net income for the year has been added to the credit union's equity. The other way to look at equity is that it is in fact the sum total of all net income that has been earned by the credit union effectively since the beginning of time. The last statement within the summary financial statements here is the cash flow statement. This statement provides a summary of various cash sources and uses throughout the year. You can see that operations, just before the investment activities line there, the total net cash flows from operations for the year were $11.6 million. And then the investing activities, which is the net of the increase of investments, used $11.3 million. Share capital increases did generate $190,000 this year, meaning that the overall cash itself increased by $500,000 from last year to this year. The last page in the summary financial statements is the note to the summary financial statements. So the purpose of this note is to disclose the criteria that has been used to put these summary financial statements together, to identify the fact that a full set of notes does in fact exist as identified in point 1D. And it also identifies that the full audited financial statements can be obtained by request at the main branch.
Thank you, Mandy. I will now ask for someone to make a motion to accept the reports. If you would like to make that motion, please raise your hand. And I need a seconder. Kendra raised her hand. Could I have a seconder, please? Do you have who? Janessa seconded that motion. If you could take off the raise hand icon. And if you are opposed to the motion, please raise your hand. Seeing no hands being raised, that motion has been carried. I would now ask for someone to make an appointment of the auditors, and that motion has to be typed in the question and answer box. I guess that'll take time. We have to wait while somebody types in their motion. Kendra has made the motion to appoint Baker Tilly. By raising your hand, could you please, we need a seconder for that motion. Lois Labakane seconded it. Can we, please put your hands down and we will, is anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing none or seeing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much for doing that for us. I will now call on Kevin Pop to give the election report.
Good evening, fellow members of Churchbridge Credit Union. This is Kevin Pop providing a report on board director term renewals, as well as the results of our board election for 2020. This year we had 3 director terms expiring on the board. Robert Rathgaber and Howard McCullough from the Landsberg District, as well as Wendy Lutz from the Churchbridge District. Both Howard and Wendy expressed interest and intent to renew their terms as board directors. Churchbridge Credit Union required 1 new board member to fill the seat of Robert Rathgaber. who retired after a multi-decade term representing board interests for both Langenburg and McNutt districts. A nomination committee from the board identified candidates in the Langenburg district to approach for this vacant board member role. Candidates are contacted and asked to consider taking on the position. Once interest is established, candidates complete the nomination paperwork with endorsement from fellow members. For 2020, one nomination was received and approved by acclamation to the vacant board seat. We are excited to introduce our newest board member, Judy Miller of Langenburg. Judy Miller was born and raised south of Langenburg with her 3 siblings. Judy completed all her education in Langenburg. After graduation, Judy went on to Regina to complete her LPN course. After graduating nursing, Judy moved back to Langenburg to pursue her working career in Langenburg, Esterhazy, and Yorkton over the years. Judy married Dwight Miller, also from Langenburg, and together they raised 2 wonderful boys, Michael and Mark, whom also work and live in Langenburg. Judy has a wonderful daughter-in-law, Kaylee, and a precious granddaughter, Addison. Judy retired from her nursing career of 33 years in April of 2019 and now works full-time at their family-owned construction business, DJ Miller and Sons Construction Limited, as the office manager, alongside her husband Dwight and sons Michael and Mark. Judy's hobbies include gardening, spending time at the lake, hanging out with friends and family, and learning new things. Judy is looking forward to representing the Churchbridge Credit Union as a board member, meeting new people, and serving the members.
Thank you, Kevin. I would also like to express our thank you from the board to Robert. Robert was on not only Churchbridge Credit Union board, but also the McNutt board for many years and stayed on the board when McNutt and Churchbridge amalgamated. Thank you, Robert. We'll now move on to the Long-Term Service Awards presentation.
Clarence started her career at the Churchbridge Credit Union in June of 2015 as a casual member services representative. Her current role is a combination of part-time member service representative and part-time wealth assistant. She has been on maternity leave for the past year and has just recently returned on June 25th. We are very excited to have Clarence back in the branch full-time. As a member services representative, Clarence can be found helping members with everyday transactions. As a wealth assistant, she assists Susan Busick with the administrative duties in the wealth department. Clarence loves being able to help resolve issues that members have. Whether it be an external member or her own co-workers, Clarence is always willing to give a helping hand. She says the best part of her job is knowing that every day brings a new challenge. She takes pride in working as part of a great team who are always willing to work together to get the job done. Clarence is always eager to pitch in for various volunteering events in the community. Her favorite is the Hot Lunch program at Churchbridge Public School. She enjoys helping out and seeing the excitement in the kids' eyes when they get their meals. She also appreciates meeting other people from town that she would normally not have met. Clarence says her most memorable moment with the Churchbridge Credit Union would be the staff Christmas parties. They are always a fun time with staff from both branches getting together, as well as the board members. Clarence lives in Churchbridge with her husband Nolan and a new addition, their son Corbin, who is 1 year old already. Congratulations, Clarence, on receiving your 5-year PIN. It has been very enjoyable working with you these past years.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Barker, and I'm the manager of lending here at the credit union, and I'm here to talk about Lois Laberkane. Lois joined our credit union in June of 2009 as an MSR and quickly moved into the lending role in November of 2010. Today, Lois is the loans officer too in the Churchbridge branch, where she primarily focuses on agriculture and commercial lending. Before coming to the credit union, Lois gained her education in veterinary technology and a bachelor degree in agriculture and majoring in animal sciences. Great to have these in her current role. And Lois is our resident expert when it comes to cattle financing. Lois prides herself in helping members find the best solution to their credit request and helping create a plan to reach their financial goals. She enjoys visiting the members at their homes and their farms and their businesses, seeing the members' pride and excitement as they show off their new homes and or their new toy. I am very fortunate in having Lois a part of my lending team. Please join me in congratulating her for 10 plus years with this credit union. Congratulations, Lois.
Good evening again. This is Ryan Tibbett, and I have the pleasure of presenting a couple of the long-term service awards this evening. So first one is Connie Ohm. She is our Deposit and Support Services Manager, and she's got 25 years of service in. So Connie celebrated 25 years in the credit union system as of March 2019. In May 1994, Connie started at North Valley Credit Union as a casual member service representative and receptionist. In July of that year, she came to Churchbridge Credit Union as a file clerk. Prior to starting her credit union career, Connie worked for the Deer Park School Board office as a payroll clerk, which was her first job after finishing her certificate in computer information systems at Science and Moose Jaw. In her time with the Churchbridge Credit Union, Connie has held many different positions. File clerk, member services representative, loans officer, receptionist, marketing and technology coordinator, and support services manager. Those have all led her to her current role as deposit and support services manager. While her current position has very little direct member contact, Connie supports the staff in the departments she manages. These departments serve members every day. Part of Connie's duties are to ensure that the credit union has the staff in place to serve our members and that they are trained appropriately. She ensures that policies and procedures are in place and followed in her departments. Connie has had many memorable moments over the years, but one that stands out in her mind is when a staff member accidentally set off the silent alarms and was not aware. The local police chief at that time, Pat Hope, got the call without staff knowing and came to the credit union. He was looking in the windows to check on staff. Connie heard a noise, checked out the window, and saw the end of a gun being tapped on the window. He was trying to get the staff's attention to see if they're okay, but ended up scaring her quite a bit. Connie enjoys helping members and staff with troubleshooting problems, something she does on a daily basis, it seems. She says the best part of her job is seeing how our members, communities, and the credit union have grown and prospered over the years that she's worked there. She's proud of Churchbridge Credit Union for the fantastic staff she works with and their commitment to the credit union, the members, and communities we serve. What Connie enjoys most about working at Churchbridge Credit Union is the people and the volunteering opportunities. Connie's favorite volunteering experience has been helping with the June Days barbecue. Each year, we work alongside a different group or organization, so you get to know a lot of different people in the community. Connie lives in Churchbridge with her husband, Terry, and son, Brandon. While her adult daughters, Kaylee and Reagan, have moved out, they come back to visit as often as possible. Congratulations on your 25-year milestone and many more. And my second one of the night is for Wendy Lutz for 20 years, currently our president. So in Wendy's words, she says, "It's hard to believe that I've been on the board for 20 years. I never thought I would be one of those lifers." She first accepted the nomination while she was teaching part-time. She thought it was something totally different from what she was doing in education and noted it has certainly been different in the corporate world from the education world. Over the years, Wendy has attended many national credit union conferences. Each time she came away with information about new products and services. Sometimes it would be 3 years later before the implementation came into being. It was exciting to say she remembers them talking about this. Many people have come and gone from the board and staff over the course of 20 years, and she has enjoyed working with them all. The past few years have brought new challenges, which has kept the board meetings and her involvement interesting. She stated the search for the new CEO was certainly an eye-opener. She enjoys the credit union days, June days, and Telemiracle when she gets to chat with members. Thank you, Wendy, for your past 20 years, and here's to many more.
I get to present Cal Swanson with his 10-year service award, and I'm excited to present Cal with the 10-year service award. Cal was born and raised in Churchbridge. He has worked for Mosaic for many years and has run his own business. He values small town living. Cal is proud that Churchbridge Credit Union is a standalone credit union and is part of our vibrant communities and serving the local economies. He enjoys working at the annual barbecues, talking to members as they pick up their member profit sharing checks, and seeing the money given to various organizations in our community through the barbecue and the community investment program. Cal remembers well hiring Perry back from Crossroads and being happy to do this as he had done a great job for our CU previously. Cal has served as vice president of the board for many years. And I remember when Cal was first nominated to be vice president, the look on his eyes, they just kind of got big. He wasn't quite expecting that. Congratulations, Cal. And we hope you stay for a few more years. We'll now open it up for the question and answer period. Remember that use the question and answer feature at the bottom of your screen to ask a question. And Tara will let us know if there are any questions. We will wait a few minutes for people to give people a chance to type in questions. Since we haven't seen any questions typing in, I just want to remind everybody that the doors are all, well, they're not really open, but the phones are always available if you want to call in and ask if you have any questions that you wish to ask at any time. Be sure to let us, drop in or phone or you can use on the website the text box that's there. That's what it is. So if there are no other questions or anything else, I guess we'll do the door prizes. Check the names and give them a call. Oh, okay. So door prizes we will check later. We'll check the names and we'll give whoever wins the door prizes a call. And I guess possibly we'll put them in on the website so people know who has won them. And maybe watch for a little bit about this meeting in the local paper, in the Town Journal. We have to work on that yet. So that wraps up our meeting. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I hope that you all had a good response or a good first experience, thank you, Ryan, in doing a Zoom meeting, and hopefully we can do this next year in person. So I will now adjourn the meeting.